Here we go again. I unlocked the cabinet and pulled out another aged fine wine that I've been saying to open on a special occasion. Bioshock is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, not hyperbole here, a top 10 type of game for me. Generally, I think my goats are often more eclectic and less revered games, but not this pick. Many people would not only include this in their greatest games of all time lists, but many outlets and people of actual culture, unlike my uncultured swine channel, would put this in their top 10s too. Fighting games like Half-Life, Deus Ex, Ocarina of Time, and other cultural touchstones of our young gaming industry. Bioshock may not be an original idea, but Bioshock is the perfect execution of that same great idea. Born really from the System Shock Looking Glass Entertainment days, Bioshock is the ultimate dive into the depths to discover a decaying utopia and the messed up denizens still left in it. There are lots of memorable psychopaths here in Rapture like Andrew Ryan, Sander Cohen, and Dr. Suchong, just to name a few, and everything this game does in its own twisted way will captivate you. While you continue through each place in Rapture, you will have a pretty challenging trophy run to accompany you. There are lots of collectibles that come in many different forms, with some of them being missable. There are other obstacles to overcome for trophies, and it doesn't ever culminate in a bad trophy run, but you will have to work for this platinum, and of course have good guides. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Now, would you kindly watch this trophy guide? This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. Thank you all for watching the show time after time, and I never expected that we would be 2,000 strong so quickly. I've got nothing else to shout out here. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll have more to say at the end to celebrate this Platinum occasion. Depending on which platform you're playing on, this trophy run can be a bit painful or less painful. I won't say the PS3 version of the game is the best place to play this game because it's well documented how some of the ports in the early PS3 days turned out, but at least it doesn't have any glitches that will completely screw your trophies mid-playthrough. The remastered version of Bioshock for the PS4 has some strange glitches that we are going to cover later in the guide that could cause you to miss trophies through no fault of your own. What the hell? I mean, it's bad enough this game has a whopping 11 missable trophies for various reasons, but now we have to deal with this still unpatched situation. There is plenty to do in this trophy run, and I think it's just better if we jump right in and start covering these trophies one by one. However, this is one of those games where I really can't cover it fully without spoiling something, so I'm issuing a spoiler warning for the rest of the video. Last thing I'll mention is that I've got more helpful guides in the description below if you need more assistance with this trophy run. Once our plane crash lands beside this lighthouse, we start our mysterious adventure where we collect 10 unmissable trophies, mostly story related and a few tutorial ones. That opening scene I just referenced has an intrigue and whimsy like no other. If you're not fully ready to dive deeper into Rapture after that Welcome to Rapture chapter, you're either scared or, I don't know, sleepy, go take a nap and come back. Otherwise, in my mind, everybody is ready to experience this absolute masterpiece of a game. Like I mentioned before, I can't cover this trophy guide and lead you to safety without spoiling some pivotal parts of the game, especially with the amount of missable trophies there are in this platinum run. So I'm telling you now, spoiler mode is about to start, and if you want to go in completely blind, you might want to come back to this video later. Save it in your downloads if you have YouTube Premium. Then come back. To collect this platinum trophy, you will need to beat it on the hardest difficulty, which will result in getting these 2 trophies on screen now. To make matters worse though, you will have to beat the game in such a way that you don't use any Vitachambers, so you can collect these other 2 trophies on screen now that are also related to difficulty. Well, what does that mean? What are Vitachambers? Well, these things are the places you go to when you die, which on the higher difficulties could be a lot. Before you put 2 and 2 together and freak out, no, that doesn't mean you have to beat the game in one go without dying. You still have access to your saves and autosaves, so if you die you can just load up your latest save and start again from there. But in order to ensure you don't mess it up, make sure you go into the options menu at the beginning of your adventure, and would you kindly turn on the Disable Vitachambers option. This will make sure nothing goes wrong and you somehow activate a Vitachamber by mistake and miss out on these trophies. So that puts the onus on you to save regularly, because autosaves only happen at the start of a new area. So if you spent an hour trying to finish an area and then you die without saving, that sucks, bro. I feel for you because it happened to me too. After that experience, I never went longer than 15 minutes without saving ever again. To add to your worries, I've neglected to mention something problematic. If you're playing the PS3 version of the game, then there is no worries, but for the far more buggier remastered version of the game, your difficulty setting might randomly get reset to the default medium setting mid-playthrough. That's lovely, and by lovely I mean maddening. It happens when closing the game or returning to the home menu of the console, and I noticed this happened to me because I went from getting my shit pushed in by splicers to walloping Big Daddies pretty easily all of a sudden. Sure enough, I was on medium again. This really sucks. And you would think that makes this trophy run impossible, right? Well, in a strange twist of fate, the remaster also has another glitch where you can change the difficulty of the game right as you strike down the final boss, and it will pop the trophies. So essentially you can play on any difficulty you like, change the difficulty to Survivor at the last second, and still get the credit. As of recording this video in 2023, it still works, and you just have to stab Atlas for the final time, wait for the screen to flash white, then pause immediately and go into the options menu and change the difficulty to Survivor. Normally, I vehemently don't like including these things in my guides, but this time I'm absolutely shouting it out, especially if the game is going to mess with your difficulty run. By all means, do it. For the PS3 version, this is not a problem, which means it is a problem because you have to beat the game as intended, which is pretty difficult. If you're going to try and take on Survivor mode legit, you have to learn to be resourceful. Stuff like the Toaster in the Tub trophy, where you kill a splicer with Electrobolt and water. That's stuff you have to think about. You have to find ways to conserve ammo and disengage yourself from fights. Let your bots do the fighting as much as possible, and make sure you do a lot of turrets, security bot, and camera hacking. These things will help watch your back, as splicers will randomly spawn in your vicinity even after you cleared out all the rooms. Also remember to use your plasmids as much as possible, because stuff like the Electrobolt and the Winter Blast stops enemies in their tracks, or you can use Incinerate to light up splicers, and then you just go back off and wait for them to burn to death. That's not to say you have to fight like this every time, but it will prevent you from having to use the first aids to heal you up, and on Survivor mode, first aids and money are more scarce resources. In other words, plan out your fights as much as possible. Now there are 2 story trophies to cover surrounding one of the most memorable characters in the game, Sander Cohen. Major spoilers here, so now would be a good time to skip ahead to the next chapter marker if you haven't played this game before. When you reach Fort Frolic, you will get acquainted with the twisted Sander Cohen and have to complete his masterpiece. Then he will reveal himself, and I know how badly you want to put a bullet in him, but would you kindly resist shooting him so that way he can open the locked glass case with the tonic in it? Chill, don't shoot him after that, just grab the tonic. Trust me, you will get revenge later on. Fast forward to the Olympus Heights section of the game, and you will now end up at Sander Cohen's apartment with him very much in there. Now you can go scorched earth and take him out. Now for the irony trophy, go ahead and take a picture of his lifeless corpse. Ha! Good riddance. You can still get the trophy if you killed him back in Fort Frolic, but the reason you ended him here is for another trophy that's missable. Now loot Cohen's body and grab the key to his personal quarters. Head upstairs and get the trophy called Found Cohen's Room for entering his equally twisted room. The reason this trophy is missable is if you killed him in Fort Frolic, you wouldn't have gotten his key and got in there. Plus, there's a weapon upgrade station in there too, which will screw you over for another trophy later. The first time I figured this out, my jaw slapped the ground. I never played a game where something like this could happen. Even to this day, not many games do these kinds of things. Another thing you don't often see very much is that this game locks the materials you need to upgrade yourself behind a little girl and a big hulking scuba diver that will fuck your shit up if you get too close to her. Introducing the Big Daddy and the Little Sister, and we have 2 trophies to collect related to the choices you make when defeating the Big Daddy and interacting with the Little Sisters. You have the Dealt with Every Little Sister trophy for finding all of the Little Sisters and either rescuing them or harvesting them. For the purpose of this trophy, you can still get it even if you mix them up and choose to rescue some and harvest the rest. You will have to deal with every guarding Big Daddy and make one of those choices for all 21 Little Sisters. Now I say deal with every Big Daddy like it's no thing, but they will fuck you up if you do not have a plan of attack, especially on Survivor mode. You'll get the trophy immediately after the last Little Sister is either rescued or harvested. But, for the Little Sister Savior trophy, it now asks you to complete the game without harvesting any Little Sisters. So if you want to do all these trophies in one playthrough, just rescue every Little Sister you come across. Technically, you could finish the game without rescuing all 21 of them and still get this trophy, but the other trophy requires all of them. So you'll need to rescue every Little Sis to get both trophies at the same time. And keep in mind that this trophy won't pop until you hit the end credits, so don't panic when it doesn't pop right away. Now we have lots of collectibles that come in many forms, and it starts with the game's most iconic type. For the Historian trophy, you will have to collect all of Bioshock's 122 audio diaries. Both a blessing and a curse, this simple collectible idea revolutionized how to include extra storytelling and lore into your game. I say blessing and curse because this popularized the 100 plus collectible hunts that trophy hunters hate to do, and some games take it way too far. But anyways, for this trophy you'll have to collect all 122 of these diaries that you simply walk up to and hold the button to play. Some of them will be story related, but the rest of them will be hidden in rooms the objective arrow usually isn't telling you to walk in. Plus, there are missable audio diaries inside of the Welcome to Rapture and Rapture Control Center chapters, which once you leave those areas, you cannot go back to. Everywhere else can be revisited using the bathysphere, but if you miss the audio diaries in those two areas, you will miss the trophy completely. So be diligent and stick to a good collectible guide like glue, like the one I provided, because you don't want to miss any diaries as you play, especially in those two places I mentioned. Also missable and just as nail-biting is the Tonic Collector Trophy, where you have to collect all 58 tonics. Not to be confused with plasmids, but the tonics are the jars you pick up that give you passive buffs, and you will have to collect one of each type. These are less missable than the audio diaries because of a few of these tonics having multiple ways to collect them, including finding them in hidden areas, purchasing them from the Gatherer's Garden, rewards for camera research, or inventing them in the U-Invent station. However, many of them are singles, so you're going to absolutely need the guide I provided below to help find them. There are no tonics in the Welcome to Rapture and the Rapture Control Center areas, which is amazing, but the trophy is still missable if you don't get the tonic from Sander Cohen in Fort Frolic, and if you don't save every little sister in the game. We already discussed those scenarios earlier, and you know what to do now, so you should not miss these two. For the rest, you can go back and collect the missing ones using the bathysphere if you need to. Once you have a bunch of these tonics, you're going to want to start equipping them on you, and that's where you need to buy all the extra tonic slots. On screen now are the trophies you get for unlocking all the tonic slots for each of the 4 categories: Plasmid tonics, Physical tonics, Engineering tonics, and Combat tonics. You will start off with 2 and can reach 6 slots for each category, but you will have to buy them at the Gatherer's Garden using Precious Atom. Plasmids will cost 100 Atom each, and the other tonic slots cost 80 for a grand total of 1,360 Atom. That's a lot, but with the way you are saving little sisters and getting bonus Atom for every 3, you'll have no problem getting enough of the good stuff to buy all of these tonic slots. I guess we should cover these super important weapon upgrades, which again, like most stuff in this game, can be missable. In particular, one upgrade station that can lock you out of the Weapons Specialist Trophy for finding all 12 upgrade stations and fully upgrading 6 of your weapon arsenal. You'll get these trophies on screen now in the process of finding all 12 of these upgrade stations as well. When you find an upgrade station, you get to choose an upgrade for any gun you currently have in your inventory, and it takes 2 upgrades to fully upgrade a gun. So 6 of your weapons can be upgraded, and you have to do this through these stations. Finding these things are easy if you know where they are located, and I have a guide to help you with that, but one of them you really need to pay attention to. We talked about getting access to Sander Cohen's room before, and there is an upgrade station inside his room, and this is the only missable upgrade station. So remember, you can't kill Sander Cohen in Fort Frolic, so you can kill him in Olympus Heights and get the key to his room. The other 11 can be collected using the bathysphere if you miss them, so don't worry too much, but make sure you get that last one in Sander Cohen's room, which you have to do anyways for the other trophies. Hacking is very important for staying alive, and it comes with the awesome pipe puzzles that for me never ever get old. Plus you need to hack a lot of things if you want to pop the Skilled Hacker Trophy. You'll need to perform 50 hacks on all the different things that you can pipe puzzle and break into. And on screen now are many of those said things you can hack and the trophies associated with them. These trophies will come very naturally as you play, but you will need to successfully hack all of these things at least once to get their trophies. I think the health stations and the U-Invent stations are the only things you can hack and not get a trophy for, so everything else is up for grabs. Always think about hacking the turrets, cameras, and flying bots for added security. Plus you'll spend less money and resources hacking the vending machines, so you can get to 50 hacks pretty easily in this game. Hacking the U-Invest stations is going to help you use less resources when you start inventing things like those tonics we mentioned earlier and the special ammo found here in these stations. Even without hacking the machine, you can still get the basic inventor trophy after you invent your first item with the available resources you scrounge up. But I definitely recommend you hack every U-Invent station so you can get the inventor trophy for inventing 100 items much quicker. If you lessen the cost and use fewer materials for each invented item, the trophy will come to you faster. And I should mention that this was one of the last trophies I collected during my run. I had to use the bathysphere to go and look for more materials so that I could have enough for the last few invents. While you're working on that trophy, you can easily get the Ammo Inventor trophy after you invent each of the 6 special types of ammo. The 6 that you can invent are on screen now, and over time you should have enough materials for all of them provided you are looting everything in sight. We're almost done covering all the trophies for this masterpiece of a game, and we have one more category of trophies left to cover. But would you kindly hit that like button if you have made it this far into the video? I said would you kindly, so you have to do it. That's the rules. I want to see the views and the likes the same. Okay, our final big trophy for this trophy run is Research PhD, which you'll get for fully researching a bunch of different things and entities in the game. In Neptune's Bounty, you will collect a camera, and this simple mechanic adds a whole new layer to the experience in that you can use it to make your playthrough a whole lot easier. When you take a picture of something like a splicer or a Big Daddy as examples, you will contribute towards the research level of that subject, and this can lead to collecting perks like extra damage on the subject, extra loot when you loot them, new and helpful tonics, and other buffs like that. So it's in your best interest to upgrade these targets to level 5 as quick as possible, and the best thing you can do is get A-grade photographs. You will also get the Quality Research Photo trophy when you score your first A-grade photo. You can take a bunch of photos of a subject until the game tells you your score is too low, but you will be getting your A-level pics on your very first snap. You will get a pic if you are close to the target and they are looking at you in the photo. Plus, if you have multiple subjects in your photo, that's a great way to get an A photo. A-grade photos give you the most research points, but B and C grade photos will also contribute towards the research levels, and later on you collect the tonics Photographer's Eye and Photographer's Eye 2 that will give you more research points for every photo you snap. You'll get the Research the Splicer trophy when you take a picture of any of the splicers for the first time, and then you need to fully research every type of splicer, getting them to level 5 to collect these 5 trophies on screen now. The Houdini splicers won't start showing up until a little bit later in the game, but it's pretty easy to get them fully researched because they will start showing up pretty frequently. As well, you will need to fully research the Rosie and Bouncer Big Daddies and even the Little Sisters so you can get these 3 trophies on screen now. The Bouncer Big Daddies will show up later in the game, but again, it won't be too difficult to research it. If you get the research of the Rosie Big Daddy to level 2, you will receive the Photographer's Eye 2 tonic as a reward, and then all your successful pictures will receive a 15% bonus. There are no trophies for these, but as part of the Research PhD trophy, you will need to fully max out the research for the turrets, cameras, and security bots as well. There's one more additional trophy to collect called Prolific Photographer when you research every category at least once, so if you can get this trophy, you know you're on the right track and not missing out on researching anything. Once you have fully researched every subject I mentioned to level 5, you will get the Research PhD trophy, and that concludes this trophy run. Oh wait, I forgot one. We have one more fun trophy left to cover. It's called lucky winner, and it's for hitting the jackpot on the slot machines that you can find in Fort Frolic. It will cost you dollars to run the machine, so save up before you start gambling, but you also have good chances to get your money back when you get 3 in a row. But the one you are aiming for, and the grand prize, is the $3 signs, which gives you a 250 smackaroo bonus. You just need to be lucky for this trophy to pop, and when it does, you'll get the trophy and a nice confetti celebration. Now we are done with our adventure down in the depths of the City of Rapture. If you haven't played this game yet, which yes, that's a possible thing for many people, you are in for shock and awe with this game. And what's great is that it still feels like it has aged incredibly well even after 16 plus years. It's too bad the remaster is buggy, but trophy hunters, as we always do, find a way to prosper. So if you've taken a deep dive into this twisted city, uncovered the reason why you ended up in Rapture at all, researched all of its strange inhabitants, genetically modified yourself into a Big Daddy smashing machine, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Platinum Trophy. Platinum Trophy for Bioshock. I know this game came out in the early PS3 days when every Platinum Trophy was unimaginatively called Platinum Trophy, but it got a remaster, so I'm so tired of this laziness with these plat names. It's aggravating. You wouldn't think this perfect game would need DLC to expand something that really doesn't need expanding, but it did get something very small. Thankfully, it's nothing story related, but instead, Bioshock received these 3 challenge rooms and 12 trophies to collect based around them. These challenge rooms have nothing to do with the story and just exist as new levels to play with new puzzles, combat, and exploration challenges. The trophies in this trophy set focus on completing the 3 new rooms in different ways and on different difficulty settings. Personally, I have never played these and don't plan to unless I really wake up one day and want 100% trophy completion for Bioshock. So there won't be a Platinum Hunters New Game Plus episode for this DLC unless you guys really want me to cover it. I am a people pleaser after all, so if you really want me to hunker down and beat these challenge rooms, let me know down in the comments section. Overall, I'm a little cheesed about those glitches affecting the trophies, but I think this run is a great one. Yeah, sure, the amount of missable trophies is annoying, and if you didn't check out a trophy guide ahead of time, you might end up doing 2, 3, or even heaven forbid 4 runs of the game, but that's why I do this every week. This game itself is a masterpiece that still plays incredibly well after all this time, and aside from survivor mode being a big challenge, the trophy run is very doable if you have a good guide. I won't deny the amount of stress you must have if you want to get all the trophies in the most efficient way though. Plus, with the Vitachambers disabled, saving the game yourself is pretty dumb. I mean, if you want us to do a no-death run, just say so. Don't give us this nonsense that was archaic even on the PS3, but still a solid trophy run. Just to give you an update as of the recording of this video, I am already very deep into a Bioshock 2 Remastered playthrough and almost done the trophies. So the Rapture Express train keeps a rollin', and you can expect that video sooner than later. Plus, there are plenty of other Shock games to cover in the future. There's Infinite, the System Shock remake that will eventually come to consoles, whenever this rumored Bioshock 4 project drops, and even Judas, which is looking pretty Shock-like already. So if you're a fan of this series, we're just getting started. thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed going back to this game and checking it out. It's been a long time since this game has come out, but I think it's one of those games people have definitely not forgotten. So it was fun to come back and just take a look at this game again and celebrate 2,000 subscribers. I never expected to reach 2,000 on this channel. I love what I do, and it's an honor that you guys want to watch this. It's crazy that you guys want to sit through and watch me cover trophy content. I'm so grateful that people want to take interest in what I have to say, and I hope these videos truly do help you get platinum trophies and keep us a tight-knit community of people who want to help each other getting these goals. These things may seem trivial to some people, but they're not trivial to the majority of us. And I'm glad that we can band together and just enjoy playing games to the fullest and pretty much to the way we want to do it. In other words, thank you guys so much for watching. I say that every video, but I really mean it this video. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I'm not stopping. We'll be back with another celebration video. I don't know, 3,000? Let's see how fast we get there. Or maybe we might wait till 5,000 to do another celebration video. I'm just gonna pull out another game that everybody loves, and we can reminisce together while we collect trophies. But that's all I have to say. I hope you guys have incredible trophy hunting expeditions, and thank you for subscribing. Peace out.